SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. LinkedIn is one of the most underutilised tools for lead generation and sales. That's according to Karen Tisdell, who since 2009 has advised all kinds of businesses on the benefits of LinkedIn for working professionals. She says 5 to 10 minutes a day is all you need to start developing leads and sales. She explains how in a moment. Chris Ashmore begins by asking Karen why LinkedIn is so important for business owners.
If you Google your name, your LinkedIn profile is one of the top things that's going to show. So it's highly trusted by Google, and that's why it's so important.
Well, perhaps we'll go to the beginning for those who probably don't know much about how to create a wonderful profile on LinkedIn. How do they start with setting up a profile page? And what do you see people getting wrong with their LinkedIn profile?
What most people get wrong is to write their profile for themselves as if they're the prospect. And of course, we're not our own customers, are we? And yet when you write your profile, people often write it to impress themselves. And it's like they're almost competing with their clients for who's the most awesome. So instead, think about who you're writing for, really picture them, give them a name, make them a person, and write them for that person's problems.
And what makes a great LinkedIn profile versus a mediocre one?
Oh, there's so many different parts to LinkedIn, and you can take your profile from looking average to great pretty easily. And how you do that is by looking at a few different parts. So your background banner, this is the bit that sits behind your profile photo. And, it is a banner. And if we think of it as like a billboard, it's so important. And if you don't change that, the default is just that it's this grey, blurry stuff. So you really want to make sure that you've got your logo in there and give it to all of your employees, because they can use it as well to brand themselves, and that will grow your footprint of your company. Also, your headline. This is the bit that sits underneath your name. You've got 220 characters in there. And so think about having lots of keywords in there. What would people look for if they're searching for you? So think keywords and make sure you front load it. And by front loading it, I mean start with something that's really clear what it is you do. So years ago, I used to talk about myself as sort of this personal branding kind of expert, and, work was okay, got a few work coming in, and I talked to my mum. She'd be like, I don't really understand what it is you do. When I started describing myself to my mum as a LinkedIn profile writer, she was like, oh, right. Okay. So you write things for people. And so, make sure that you've sort of put the front stuff really clear and that it's at the front. Make sure that your about section, formerly known as your summary section, make sure that you're really talking to the audience's pain in there. And I really love contact details. You want to flatten the path to purchase. You don't want anybody to Google something, find your profile, look at your profile and go, oh my gosh, this person's the solution to all my problems, and they can't figure out how to reach you. So make sure that you're just flattening that path. And with your experience section, don't treat that like it's a resume. Instead, you really want to make sure that you're listing in your experience section, again, reasons, why you're the best and what you've done for previous clients. You can put little snippets of quotes in there and, again, talk to your audience's pain and have contact details.
Well, a lot of business owners are using LinkedIn, particularly B2B businesses and professional services. They're using it to generate leads. How do you suggest we do that to, generate sales from LinkedIn?
I think a lot of people think that they need to generate sales on LinkedIn by creating content. And actually, yes, you can get clients from that, but it takes ages. You can actually put yourself in fate's path by treating LinkedIn as if it's a networking event that's just online. So use the search filters to proactively search for people, to find leads, and then reach out and connect with them. Just again, thinking like it's an in-person networking event. You wouldn't walk up to somebody and say, hi, Chris, I love your podcast. Can you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't instantly go into pitch mode. You would start really talking with the person. So build those, personalize those invites when you can, drop little comments on their posts, invite them to events. You really want to sort of go really slowly. And the people you're targeting when you're doing a search, think about people in proximity. So who do you know in common, or are you in the same city? Both people and proximity will really build that comfort level with people. They'll feel more comfortable accepting your invite.
There's a bit of strategy there and a bit of work to do. How much time do you think we should invest to do activities on LinkedIn?
If you don't make any time for LinkedIn, then you're not making any time for marketing. How much time you want to spend depends on how much marketing you want to do, but you can waste a lot of time. I really think it's only 5 to 10 minutes a day, Monday to Friday, scrolling through the feed and liking and especially commenting on as many posts as you can, so that when you post content yourself, it'll go further. And because that comment on somebody's post, that's like a, hi, Fred, how are you going? It's like a wave across the street. It's just sort of building that familiarity. Once a week, you really want to make time to, and this could be 30 minutes once a week. And in that 30 minutes, you're looking at everybody you've met, spoken to, emailed last week, sat in on a webinar with, send them an invite to connect. And look at the week coming up, send them an invite to connect. Look at any posts that you've put up in the last week. Have you responded to all of the comments? And just check your DMs. Also in that 30-minute time period, think about, who have I connected to that I could facilitate introductions to, or I can invite them to events? So just sort of think about being the most helpful person in the room, like you would at a networking event. And then once a month, you want to spend, once a fortnight or once a month, you want to spend maybe an hour searching for, prospecting and reaching out to people. And you want to, I think it's best, once a month to spend about 2 hours writing 6 pieces of content, scheduling 1 a week and keeping 2 in the kitty for that time where you go, oh my gosh, it's end of financial year. Like, really? Who's got time for content? You've already got a bank of ready content there.
And when you talk about that content, are we talking about writing a post? Because I understand there's posts and there's articles. Is there a difference between the two?
Yeah, totally. Posts are short form and articles are long form. So an article is essentially a blog. But what a lot of people don't consider is that they actually serve different purposes. So a lot of people will write articles, not get lots of likes and comments, and just stop doing them. A post is really about reminding people who you are. So rather than being that wave across the street and sort of calling out, hi, Fred, great to see you, you're actually starting the conversation. While an article, and so a post is all about attracting attention, reminding people that you're there. An article is about converting people. So that's where I'm not too sure if I really wanted to invest in your services or buy your product. It's quite a big expense. I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. This article details how to do something and it demonstrates your expertise. So your article is very much about conversion and your posts are very much about attraction.
Well, we've covered a lot, but any final tips, any final thoughts on how to get the best out of LinkedIn?
Not to worry too much about having it perfect from the get-go. We are all, as humans, work in progress. Our businesses have gone through multiple evolutions and most people don't see that. The best thing about LinkedIn is also one of the worst things about LinkedIn is everything's on public display. But you need to sort of get over that fear by just doing it. So just a few minutes a day, every day, start commenting, start tinkering with your profile. Don't wait until it's perfect to make all the changes. Just little and often, and you'll grow your bravery muscle and you'll start reaping the rewards.
That was Karen Tisdell. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel.